I love you.
This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe Revolution Sorceress Teela figure. Obviously, this is based on the Netflix series, and this was the form we saw her take towards the end of Revelation. So if we look on the box, we got some really nice artwork for her there. Continues on to the side where we see the Sorceress Teela in her ghostly form. On the back, we have some product shots that highlight her having multiple hands, a cape, and the staff. Kind of stupid, to be honest. We also see the rest of this wave is, of course, the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, Trapjaw, and Skeletor, although I believe they were calling him Skeletek in the series. And this wave, I think, was kind of a clusterfuck, too, wasn't it? No, actually, sorry, that was the cartoon collection where Man-at-Arms came separately from the rest of the wave. Never mind. On the side, we have another bit of artwork with her, looking okay. Overall, not a bad design for the Sorceress Teela, but pull her out there. We have this little thing on the side that has her extra parts. That's kind of what the inside looks like. The back blue is just kind of boring. And I'm going to guess that the only thing that's in the envelope is her hands. Her alternate spellcasting hand. And I don't think they did this on purpose, but apparently she can actually make the little heart fingers with her hands. And that was kind of annoying. Her cape is actually cloth, though. Let's see. I thought it was going to be plastic on the back, but no, they did give us a soft goods. Too bad it's all mangled here from being in the plastic the way it was. It's also a really thin material. Overall, let's take a look at the head sculpt here. She does have kind of the bird motif for her tiara, kind of going along with her classic look, you know, having the tiara, of course, framing her face. Her hair is free. They got the little jewel here in the middle, which I almost wonder if that harpens back to that kind of like little triangle that they had on the CGI version of Teela. What's interesting here, maybe hard to see, they actually have the white sleeves kind of painted up in this corner underneath her armor, where honestly, I would have expected them just to have that be all skin tone. So that's a little extra bit of detail that you wouldn't have expected on this. And it does look like, or it does appear to actually be a textured area too. So these would make this kind of a unique shoulder piece compared to the rest of the Masterverse figures. On her head articulation, we can look down. We can kind of look up a little bit, the side a little bit, the other side a little bit, but the hair does, of course, affect the articulation, and it is not soft enough to just easily go around. But it is still on a ball joint, so for the arms, we can hinge upwards. Obviously, it's going to be hindered by this, and sadly, that is not a separate bit of equipment, because that would have been kind of nice if you could take that off, you know? But we can go up that far, we can go down, we can spin up that far again. We're hindered by the the shoulder pauldron. We can go back that far, and that's about it as far as around that part. We can still hinge outward all the way, though, if we want to. They have not added butterfly joints yet. We do have a bicep swivel and a double jointed elbow, which I'm always a fan of. The hand has a spin. There is a little bit of hindrance to her bracer, but not much. And she has the in and out hinge there. She has a boob cut, so you can move her torso around, her upper torso around a bit away from her other. And it has some pretty good articulation to it, so you can spin it all the way around if you want. Not hindered by the cloth goods cape, thank you. However, we do have this large plastic skirt piece for her. This would probably have been a really good choice to have in cloth goods also, because this is definitely going to be hindering her leg articulation. So we can kind of kick up like this. We can't get too much more forward because of the skirt here. We can kick back about that far. And I was kind of hoping that this the seam or the cut here would be enough to give us a little bit more articulation on the leg, but no avail. I wonder how difficult it would be to if I got my hands on a second one of these, cut around this area and replace this all with cloth. And maybe even have it the cut go all the way up to the hip. She does have a thigh swivel, though it's hard to see it underneath the skirt piece. Double jointed knee. Again, the skirt piece hinders a lot of the articulation for that. We have a boot cut. We have a hinge at the foot, and of course the spin. So that gives us our basic articulation. She comes with the same staff as the Sorceress did, as you'll see here. Teela's seems just a little more of a dingier white than the Sorceress's does. And of course, she can obviously hold it. Unfortunately, on my copy, there is some paint issues up here with the kind of pearlescent white that they used to cover the gold rubber from the skirt piece. So it stands out a bit, at least in person. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera, but you can also feel the texture of the paint issue. And of course, they added the extra deco down here, kind of making it look like a split almost in the boot, but gold around there, and more paint issues with it. Kind of looks like they may have done a pre-coat of white on the plastic before putting the gold down, which would make some sense. She does use actually the same boots as the Sorceress, it looks like. Well, wait a minute. I don't know. It's actually very possible that the boots are actually new. That's kind of weird. Yeah, the feather sculpting is even different on the boots. I would have thought that they would have just reused them, but there's more wrinkles in the calf part here, and even the toe box looks slightly different. So I guess as far as reuse goes, it's basically just the legs on here.
A quick update on the boots. Apparently, I had the legs on the Sorceress backwards because once I spun them around, it matches up with Teela's boot fine, at least as far as the calf and boot cut area go. So, I feel kind of stupid.
They don't really look like mother and daughter, do they? However, comparison wise with her more classic looking version, it does look like they're more or less maybe using the same face sculpt, even if they had to put it in a different head overall. But this is what I was talking about. You can kind of see where maybe this tiara formed into this in a way, even if it was a different version of Teela. Actually, the color match isn't too bad, although, man, there was a lot of issues with this, with my previous Teela in there. I don't know if this is a paint issue now, or if maybe they found something that worked better because, oh, no. So that's plastic. Okay, so it looks like we are getting a yellowing issue on the plastic that was used for the original Teela skirt piece. Because the skirt is supposed to be white with the paint of the gold, whereupon we have here the gold skirt with the white paint. But overall, the Sorceress Teela is a pretty nice looking figure. Um, I've I definitely, if you like the Teela figures, she would be a good one to add to your collection. I do have the See You Next Tuesday Teela, but I haven't opened that one up yet. And when I do, I'll probably use her alternate head on it because I just hate that head sculpt they gave her with the quote Karen hairdo. So anyway, I am looking forward to when they do the Snake Teela because I believe Toy Habits has made mention that that is expected to be part of the next wave, which of course will be the whole we need to try to order stuff in cases from Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth because it seems like these figures are no longer heading off to retail, which is a shame. So anyway, oh, duh. We never did switch out the hands, did we? I'd like to say I rarely ever use the quote magic hands. And they do have a hinge on them again for the in and out articulation. It is actually the same hand that is used on the sorceress for her magical hands. And probably same for Evil Lyn as well. So please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Peace and love.